From the basement of Williams Arena, we are here for the Stillwater Girls Basketball State Tournament recap. I'm VAC TV Sports Director Ted Leroux, alongside the voice of Pony Girls Basketball, Mike Peden. Mike, coming into the state tournament, Stillwater coming off a convincing win in that section final against Eastridge. Now in the state quarterfinals, that first matchup, taking on Park Center, Adalia McKenzie, of course, great player for the Pirates. And coming into this 4-5 matchup, probably the most competitive matchup on the slate of quarterfinal games, but Stillwater came out, and they came out in a big surge right away on that one.
Right, usually the 4-5 is expected to be the closest because the two teams are neck and neck. And Stillwater going in didn't have that quality win. They had come oh so close against Farmington, Park Center in the first game of the year. Wayzata, Eden Prairie, always right there, could never get over the hump. That changed in a big way, and that was because they double and triple teamed Adalia McKenzie every chance they got on defense. That forced her into a lot of contested shots, a lot of rushed looks, and Stillwater used their speed and transition offense to run away with it. They built a pretty solid halftime lead and did not look back. I think they had an 18-4 run to start the game, and that was all she wrote. I've never seen anything like it, and it was a result no one saw coming.
Big win over Park Center. That's a big momentum going into the semifinals against number 1 seed Hopkins. Not only in the Minnesota State Tournament, but in the whole United States of America. The top team in the country, of course, led by UConn commit Paige Beckers. This was going to be a tall task no matter what. Hopkins got on them early, and once Hopkins gets out to a double-digit and close to a 20-point lead, it's very tough to come back.
Well, as Willie Taylor said in the postgame, when you commit 30 turnovers, it's hard to stay with any team, let alone Hopkins. And the thing with the Royals, one reason why they have not lost a game this season or last year, there's always that one point in the game where they make that killer run. In this case, it was the start. They held Stillwater to just 4 points in the first 10 minutes, and even though Stillwater found some rhythm thanks to Alexis Pratt and Liza Carlin, they just didn't have enough in the tank to hang with Hopkins. In order to beat them, everyone has to bring their A game, and Grace Cody, Amber Scalia never really found their footing against the Royals, and so unfortunately for Stillwater, their season came to an end, like you said, a tall task. It was the rematch they wanted. They were supposed to meet in January. That didn't happen. And Willie noted in the postgame, no chance to really practice against them either because of the back-to-back nature of quarterfinal and semifinal play. You can't fault Stillwater, though. I mean, they gave it their all. Just Hopkins is that good.
A great season for Stillwater, but coming up just short, Willie Taylor and others in the postgame press conference.
Had we had a day in between the practice, I think we could have done better. But we didn't get press this year. No one full-court press this year because Speedy down here, they didn't want to take a chance doing it. Hopkins has kids that are not as fast as her, but fast enough. If they run full speed, they can catch her a little bit, and that made it tough.
A lot of them are really long and tall, so they open up their arms, and it's kind of difficult to pass through them. And no matter if you think you can pass it, they're always there. Like, they're always watching you.
A lot of people thought that we wouldn't even be a top 10 team this year. Some people even thought we wouldn't go to state again. So to come back, to prove people wrong, to beat the 4 seed, I'm really proud of how far we've come.
And looking ahead beyond this year to next year for Stillwater girls basketball, Alexis Pratt is going to be the focal point of this team. She's played behind, Sarah Scalia and Liza Carlin. I think she's going to be the focal point of the Stillwater team. You look at Amber Scalia comes back, Gianna Carr comes back as the kind of 3 that they're going to build around next season.
Well, we should note Alexis Pratt did lead the Ponies in scoring, so it's not like she took a back seat these last couple of years, but she is going to be the leader now with Sarah gone, Liza playing in college, and what better way to have a centerpiece for next year's team than one of the speediest defensive pests in the state. We'll see what happens in track. She's just as good on the track as she is on the basketball court. Of course, we have a very fluid situation. But Alexis Pratt, she's a workhorse, goes to the gym a lot, does a lot of training, highly dedicated individual, and that kind of investment feeds to the rest of the team. Amber Scalia had a tremendous sophomore season. Had to come in with Delaney Wagner out and bumped up her scoring by almost 10 points per game. What impressed me the most is her rebounding. More of a rebounder than Sarah was. She had a double-double and was 2 assists shy of a triple-double against Park Center in the quarterfinals, and you got to see some of that rebounding prowess in the semifinals. So they may look a little smaller. Lizzie Holder may be another one that could give them some height in the post. But They are a speedy team. Ever since Willie Taylor came in, that's the system he wants to run. Use that pressure defense to turn into offense. So Stillwater's going to look a lot different. Will they be the favorites in the Suburban East? Tough to say. We'll have to see what unfolds, but it'd be hard to argue against the Ponies.
That'll wrap up our winter season here for Stillwater area high school sports. We're going to have a winter wrap-up edition of Ponies All Access, wrapping up everything from hockey to basketball and everything in between next couple of weeks. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We have our spring schedule set. We'll keep you up to date should those games not be played because of the impending coronavirus that is going on all across the country and all across the world. So we got to, stay up to date on that as well. So we'll keep you up to date if those games do not take place, but we do have some lacrosse, baseball, softball schedule. It's kind of thrown everybody into a loop right now. Plan B, Plan C, Plan D. But we're planning on some spring sports.
We are planning on it, and we should note that it did affect Stillwater girls basketball. They won't have the chance to play for a bronze medal game because the high school league has canceled all consolation events. Adapted hockey has been canceled, so unfortunately, they won't get a chance to play for a medal, but I talked to Willie and everyone, the players, coaches, they all understand, especially with what happened in the NBA. This has to happen right now. Health and safety are paramount, so we'll have more games. We just don't know when, but life will go on, and there will be more games at some point.
Life finds a way, right?
Life does find a way, yes.
So that'll wrap things up. Stillwater falling in the state semifinals to Hopkins. For Mike Peden, I'm Ted Leroux. We'll see you in the spring.